What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Nerd On Update, our weekly show in which we talk about the weekly nerdy news that was interesting or exciting or awesome to us, and the later half of the show in which we answer questions from you, the people. And I know what Tom's news is, so I'm going to start because mine will be short and he's more important. No, I'm just kidding. My first piece of news that came to me actually today, a History of the World Part 2 series has been ordered at Hulu.
What?
Yeah. Not much is known about it. Not much is known about it. It would be a sequel to History of the World Part 1. People are very curious to see what areas of history he will pull from, because there
is it Mel Brooks?
Happened. Yes, it is.
Oh,
Mel Brooks is involved. So as somebody who grew up on Blazing Saddles, Spaceballs, the producers, all of that good stuff, I'm very, very excited. So
I just want to point this out to everyone. Mel Brooks is 95 years old.
Yeah, I was just, when I saw the thing, I was like, is this bro still alive? Like,
yeah, 95 years old. And up until Carl Reiner died, they met every night and had dinner together at Mel's house, I believe, or Carl's house.
Yeah,
or Mel's Diner.
They would watch TV show.
No.
Yeah, I don't know what you said. Carl's Diner?
Yeah.
Mel's Diner.
Mel's Diner.
Mel's Diner.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm very interested because
Took me a sec, but I got there.
he is in his prime of his 90s. So, but he's still a very funny man. So, I'm
95 going on 30.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited. Another piece of news for me comes. It's a little sad for me. Why the Last Man on FX has been canceled. It hasn't even finished its season 1, and it has been canceled. A little bit of history. This comic book is actually one of my favorite comic books, but it has been in development hell for like 15 years, including at one point the creator of the comic losing, he didn't own the rights to it, and then only a few years ago got the rights back and then started developing it again. I really enjoy the series. A lot of people are really loving it because it's taken the comic book and made it better and more modern. It's pretty much a large percentage ran by female filmmakers. All the department leads are female. Most of the cast is female. There's transgender representation in the show. People are very sad that it has been canceled, but the showrunner, Eliza Clark, has said that she's very confident that they will be able to find a new home for the show. So I'm very interested in this because I do love the show, and because it has been coming for such a long time. At one point, it was going to be a movie with Shia LaBeouf. So a lot of different things, but yes, it was canceled. So
I want to say it like this, as James Franco says in Buster Scruggs, first time that happened with Swamp Thing, and you could hear the thoughts of a million people just suddenly vanish. It's a very, very sad feeling for sure, because it's like something a lot of people are excited about. And Josh, that was like one of the first things I noticed about like your comic book collection was Why the Last Man.
Yeah.
And so knowing how 3 years later, 4 years later, doing this podcast, like I was like, oh wow, like we're gonna get the show. And
yeah,
I think we talked about doing an episode on the show, and yeah, it's like it's currently ongoing now, right?
Yeah,
now,
it hasn't even finished its season 1. It's like on its 6th or 7th episode. I don't remember, but it's on Mondays on FX on Hulu and whatnot. And I've been really enjoying it. The cast is amazing. They've taken a thing that I like the way that somebody kind of summarized it. They took a comic book that was good, but it was very gender elitist in a sense or gender essentialist, meaning like, oh, males are so important. And it's like, yeah,
we need the seed.
Yeah, we need this. But the show is really focusing on what women can achieve and do and all that kind of stuff. So very interesting, great cast. But yeah, that's my news.
If anything, I just want to talk a little bit about it, just because if anything, it felt a little bit kind of like almost like an answer or a conversation piece to Children of Men, where it's very much like, the mortality rate's going down. And so the woman who's pregnant is like super important in this world of men.
Yeah.
So in this opposite version where the world of women, the only person who could potentially, donate would be really, really important. Again, I haven't watched the show, but I did do a quick look up and you knew this. It's a DC Vertigo. Why was it on Hulu? Who knows? But that good old HBO Max looking like the Spirit Halloween store right now. You know what I'm saying? Trying to grab me, them boys. Like,
I love it.
Thank
I
you.
love it. Well, speaking of DC, Tom,
Yes.
what do you got for us?
DC.
The DC.
Well, if you guys had read the title for this show, that you know that I'm going to be covering a little bit of what we learned from this weekend's DC FanDome, the second iteration, version, installment of maybe a long form tradition of the celebration of DC Comics, everything DC Comics to the fans. The big highlights that a lot of people took away from it was that the crown jewel of the entire 3-hour event was that the trailer for The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves, starring Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Andy Serkis, X, Y, and Z, premiered. And to a roaring applause. At the point of this recording, I think it had already clocked in at like 22, 24 million views in one day. So it's huge. A lot of people are excited about it. We have a trailer react on it. You can watch it on YouTube.
Flash
and on this channel
too.
And The Flash. So we got first looks at Black Adam, Shazam: Fear of the Gods, some Aquaman Lost Kingdom. We got some ideas and hints of Ava DuVernay's projects over at CW, which is DMZ, which is kind of cool, where the entire world is experiencing, or at least America's experiencing, their second civil war, and it follows Rosario Dawson's character Ava. Also, another show that she's working.
The comic DMZ.
The comic DMZ, and Ava is based off of Z, and Naomi, who is a new character created by Brian Michael Bendis, the co-creator or the creator of Miles Morales for the DC, and Naomi created for the DC universe, a black teenager character who is brand new to the pantheon of heroes. Things like Suicide Squad, Kills of Justice League. We got to see a little story trailer, some snippets. Gotham Knights, we saw a little bit more of a story trailer, much more ideologies of Court of Owls. Corey, you want to talk a little bit about it, what you saw, what you liked?
I mean, to be honest with you, I jumped on the Court of Owls storyline when it first came out. I worked on the other side of a comic book shop at the time of the, that was at the time of the New 52, I believe. And it followed Batman through the Court of Owls, and I was fascinated with it. And I'm sad that I fell off reading it. So I'm very excited to kind of delve deeper into that. Not only that, but like a co-op Arkham style game where you're untethered co-op. And not only that, but
what does that mean? Because you mentioned it
so
yesterday.
like usually you have to stay within a vicinity of like who the game host is or each other, right? You ever play a co-op game where they're like, you're too far away from your party?
Yeah.
Apparently you can go anywhere in the city that you fucking want. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
They're also being like, guess what? You both want to play Nightwing? Go for it. You both want to play Batgirl? Go for it. We don't care. Which to me is everyone's going to have their preferences, and I totally respect that. But for me, I've never been one of those people when playing Halo, and all the cutscenes only have one Master Chief, and then it cuts to the gameplay, and there's maybe two, or there's like, 4 elites with him who are playing. Like, it never bothered me. I just want to play games with my friends. I'll experience the story, whatever it is. So the fact that there's 2 Jason Todds, I don't care. I'm pumped for this. They're just kind of being like, you know what?
I don't care.
It's going to be great solo, but guess what? You want to experience Arkham with your friends? You want to experience Gotham with your friends? Fine, do it. Do whatever you want. We don't care.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
That being said, there was some other snippets of Young Justice season 4, Phantoms.
Phantom, Danny Phantom, Ballsy. All right, I feel more awake now.
Okay, and then there was also the song in Aquaman and I think Aquaman and Mera, King of Atlantis. And the animation or the art style looks very Super Jail. The animation's very flowy and fun and quick. Kind of just looks like this very it doesn't take itself seriously, which should be a lot of fun. Also, a little bit of some previews of Batwing Hot Wheels, or
Yeah.
it's just like, so yeah, every superhero is going to be a car, and this is like literally they say like this is like the preschool show. I was like, okay, cool. If it's meant for kids, it's meant for kids. They can have the thing. Also, DC Super Pets, which Dwayne the Rock Johnson will be playing Crypto, and then Kevin Hart will be playing Ace. Needless to say, I did watch this all and studied it and all that stuff, but to kind of just truncate this. A lot of people on the internet were really hyped for the Batman. A lot of people were kind of divided about the Ezra Miller suit for Flash, but they really wanted to see where it goes because they got a little bit of a taste and they just don't know where it's going to end up. And people were, obviously excited to see more of Jason Momoa, also Yahya Abdul-Mateen II's Black Manta suit, Orm coming back, so Patrick Wilson coming back as Orm, and it looks like Jason Momoa and him have more scenes together, so it looks like they might be doing something, again, bridging the bond and family, very similar to Thor Dark World, bringing in Tom Hiddleston back into the fold with Chris Hemsworth to fight, for Asgard, so very interesting parallels, you could do that. But not a small story, an interesting story that happened as well on the Saturday that it premiered was that, there was a lot of trending things, hashtag, the Flash, the Batman. But another thing that was not premiered at all was hashtag restore the Snyderverse. Again, if you're familiar with this program, this show, Who I Am, what we've done, we try to spread that joy and that signal and that conversation as much as possible. But that did trend DC fandom for a majority of the day. I think ending off at like somewhere around 360,000 tweets in that day, and then the next day even trended again at 100,000 tweets. Which, if you don't think that means anything, it was pretty much the big catalyst to the actual release of the Snyder Cut, where Zack Snyder was able to say to the executives like, "Hey, look, the biggest tweet that has ever happened with the Warner Brothers film was a film that was never released. So if you don't think it matters, it does." That being said, a lot of articles talked about it, and also a lot of people kind of felt like kind of slighted that there was no conversation of Zack Snyder's Justice League when there's a lot of things like Smallville 20th anniversary, let's talk about it, or Supergirl wrapping up their series, let's talk about it, but nothing talking about how the Snyder Cut was received. Well, in America, we don't get to see those things. But if you're in China, you do, because the Flash film updates news net account on Twitter ended up actually showing the Chinese coverage of DC Fandome. And there's a whole additional panel with Andy Muschietti, Barbara Muschietti, the director and producer, and Ezra Miller talking about the Flash, and they mention a lot of stuff from Zack Snyder's Justice League, as well as a multiverse, the different iterations of Flash, and also it's not just a multiverse of characters, but a multiverse of films. So they are going to be talking about that at some point. So it's just very
Batman
interesting.
forever.
Maybe creaking that door open, baby. I also got to give a shout out for, I thought you were going to mention Zack Snyder's tweet in support of Matt Reeves's Batman.
Yeah, and then Matt Reeves' response to that, thanking him, because they're directors who respect each other. And, I say it in this way.
What did Snyder say? This looks cool, right?
This is
cool
like, Matt, this looks great. You killed it. And then Matt Reeves responds like, thanks, man. That means a lot. Directors are people who survive the filmmaking process, as to say, because they are a battlefield and you lose a lot of battles, but you make a lot of friends. And every director worth their weight in salt knows that, like, to respect each other. So it's really, really cool. And Matt Reeves, I think, was also voiced his support for the Snyder Cut, when it got announced. So, that's all the news I got. Josh, you want to take it away to the next part?
Yeah, the next part of the show, like I said up top, we answer questions from you, the people. And you can submit your questions in a number of ways. And if you want to find all those ways, go to nerdon.tv/questions. It has all of the links, the forms, the email, all of that stuff. But a really great way is to head on over to our Discord, nerdon.tv/Discord. There are channels in there that you can submit questions to this show. And if you are a member of the Nerd On Nation, powered by Patreon, nerdon.tv/Patreon, you get what we call the Nerd On Nudge, where we answer your questions first.
That's right.
It's fun stuff. You get all sorts of bonusy stuff over there. So check out that Nerd On Nation. But you can ask questions like Spencer. Shout out, Spencer.
Shout out.
What is the one thing that you're not supposed to eat that always looks delicious to you? For example, melted candles look like a sauce that I could put on my chicken, and honestly, some of them smell yummy enough to do so.
I was thinking of like a diet thing, or like you're not supposed, it's not good for you, but you eat it anyway. But
No,
you mean
like
like what are you not supposed to eat?
Like legit not edible.
Don't eat it.
Man, that's a good question.
I mean, I have one thing right in front of me. This is kind of like a cheap answer. So I went out on a boat with Corey during the summer after we got vaccinated, and it was great. And it was the first time in a long time that I went outside for a long period of time, and I got sunburnt. And I had to go get some aloe vera, so aloe gel. And so this guy, green jelly looking thing.
Yeah, that's just green apple,
like,
right? It's just green
apple. It just
apple.
looks kind of delicious because it's like, it could be really like that nice sweet and, green. Yeah, exactly. Green apple-y. Like,
Man,
this looks
that'd be good.
I feel like that would taste good, like just have like a little snackage. I like a soft mouth feel on things. I'm not particularly. I like crunch, but I like soft mouth feel. That being said, you guys got one?
I'm thinking.
Not off the top of my head. I mean, I did some spackling recently at my old apartment, and there's the brand we bought is called Dry something. Anyway, it's pink and it dries. So when you know it's dry, it's no longer pink. It dries white. So you know when it's still drying.
Yeah.
And it
Just
looked
some
like
icing?
ice cream.
Yeah.
It looked like ice cream. And I was like, this legit looks like I could eat this 100%.
I just thought of one. Bonnie got this like mouthwash, or not mouthwash, I'm sorry, face wash recently that has like, when you open it up, I mean, it just smells like it's like this blueberry stuff that you're just supposed to just like get out with your hands and just get into your mouth, but it's not. It's a face wash. Not that I've tried it, but when you put it on your face and you're like, it's like I just put peanut butter all over my face. Like I'm supposed to eat this, not put this on my face. This is weird, but yeah, that's one thing. Next question.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely more to that, and I want to add more to it onto probably our food channel in our Discord. So we'll continue the conversation there. Yes, next question.
Next question comes from Mitchell. What's one movie you wish you could see in theaters?
Well, for a long time, it was The Thing. But that finally happened.
Yeah.
That finally happened, and it was amazing. A movie that I wish I could see in theaters. Honestly, Lawrence of Arabia is one of them, but the real answer is the Lord of the Rings trilogy extended editions.
Ooh.
I know they do it, and I can, but I just haven't been able to. It hasn't lined up with when I wasn't working or something. So that would be sweet.
Josh?
I'm thinking because I'm rattling some ideas.
I mean, I have the very easy answer.
Justice League.
I have Zack Snyder's Justice League because it's the one movie that I've wanted to watch, but I never got the chance to watch it in theaters. And I would love to watch it in theaters in its full presentation, where right before the fourth part starts, there is a 10-minute long intermission, and the score plays. And I would love to do that. If there's other ones potentially, part of me wants to be able to go watch like Terminator 2. Like in theaters. I think that'd be one that I'd want to watch. I think I'd actually get like
Terminator 2 is a good question. Yeah. I mean, a good question, a good movie.
I think that's a good question too. Yeah,
it's a good question.
Terminator 2. Josh?
I've seen The Big Lebowski. Shoot. I don't know.
Chat says Paddington Marathon.
Yes!
I'm surprised. In a way, also, I think just because I think it would be optimized for it, and I think Disney Plus is not a good way to watch it. I think it'd be fun to watch The Mandalorian in theaters.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Wow.
Yeah, if
I
we're
think that has a
going
good
outside of
format for it.
Josh, I'll say this one. This one I thought you were going to say for some reason because you've been on this Kurt Russell kick. Tombstone would be a great movie to watch
hell
in
yeah.
theaters.
Escape from New York.
Oh,
There you go.
that's the one.
There you go,
That's
man.
the one.
That would be
There you
dope
go.
to watch.
There's your
some movies
answer.
that I think about, like the way that I read this question originally was like in my mind was like when you could see it for the first time, like in the theaters. Like there are some movies that it's like I never got to experience that feeling. Like I was too young to be able to have seen it in the theaters, but it would have been cool to see some movies that I grew up of like, oh, that would have been cool to see. When
I think It Follows would have been great to see in theaters.
Yeah. The original Scream, I just watched it inspired by our Horror Films RS episode. I watched it again. There are some movies that I'm like, oh man, Arachnophobia would have terrified me, but it'd be so fun to see it in the theaters. Like that terror.
Yeah. There's also movies I wish I could see again in theaters, but that's a whole nother question.
Another whole.
Yeah. Next question
Yeah.
comes from Gween. I hope I'm saying that
Shout out.
right. Gween26. What is your favorite console generation and why? What is your least favorite console generation and why?
GameCube. GameCube was probably my favorite console. There was something about it that brought a lot of friends together. You could bring your save floppies,
Your memory cards,
over
baby.
to your friend's house and be like, "Yo, I got my." We used to play NBA Street was my big thing, and I had unlocked all the secret characters like the Yeti and the alien and stuff like that. So big Lava Man. But it also had games like everyone knows how I feel about Gauntlet Dark Legacy, and Super Mario Sunshine, and it I know it's like their least popular selling console, like it performed the worst.
Wait,
but man,
what?
It did. It
Really?
flopped.
yeah,
Wow, I'm so
yeah.
surprised because including you guys and people that I've met in my life over the years, like always talk about GameCube. Like I'm really surprised.
I feel like it really just took that Nintendo gaming to the next level that it needed to be in, which it was like, all right, we got our 3D worlds with the Nintendo 64, and that was obviously a fantastic console. And I still play on it all the time. But I still get excited when I hear that.
But then also when you'd hold the A button so that you can get to your memory
Or the
card.
Z button, you'd get another one. Different sound. So that was my favorite. My least favorite was probably least favorite. I mean, I like all my game consoles. That's the thing. Because there were just different parts of my life. Like the 360 was there for me when I was in New York, which was a really hard time for me. So I can't say it wasn't the 360. The Xbox One was also great because it really enhanced gaming to another level. My Xbox One X, I love. It's tough. I don't know if I have a least favorite console generation, because I love them all.
For
tough.
me, I mean, it's.
I didn't have a Wii U, but that would be the answer.
And so it's funny, like generation, right? So like first generations would be like the N64, PlayStation 2, right? Like that's the generation type. So like GameCube was in between a PlayStation 2 and a PlayStation 3. But like it's hard to categorize in that sense. So I apologize if we're breaking the question a little bit. But I mean, to answer that question, like for me, yeah, my favorite was GameCube as well because like Corey said, like there was a lot of times to just play games, and this was the time that Nintendo was like, yeah, we're gonna play well with other developers, and we're gonna allow Soul Calibur, we're gonna allow like other games that weren't normally like a Rogue Squadron or Extreme G Racing, where versus like Wii. And then Wii U was like, no more other developers. Like, we're only playing with in-house developers. And to me, so to answer the question, like, for the Wii, I felt I was a little bit kind of like, I had no games to play. It was just like a lot of gimmicky games. And although I loved my Wii and like I had games to play, it only felt like party games. And it really kind of turned me towards PlayStation because I really wanted to play these single player adventure games or like go on a campaign and play this story where like all I had was Smash Bros and Mario Wii and a WarioWare, which was like
WarioWare.
These are all fun party games, but like I never got a chance to get immersed into gaming. I never felt like I was like actually getting a story from anything, which I even and think of it now. Corey, what's the thing that I skip through all the time is cinematic story scenes.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, give me gameplay. I don't care. So it's just a very interesting time but I'm answering as honestly as I can of like, what did I have the best experience with versus what I had the worst experience with. And like, because of the Wii and the lack of them playing with other developers and licensing other games, it made me want to get a PlayStation. That turned me to like I would even like say that I probably would have wanted to get an Xbox One over the Wii at that time because they just had no games for them at the time. Like you had Arkham, but there was just not optimized for the Wii U, and
nothing was optimized for the Wii U. There was a few like Call of Duties that came out on the Wii U later, and they were just terrible.
Yeah, so
I mean the Wii. Excuse me.
The thing I liked about the Wii U though, it was 720 HD, which it's garbage quality, but like I really felt like I liked their Nintendo Land game over Wii Sports, like because they were games that were within the Nintendo licensing. So like they had like a dumb, gyro Donkey Kong game, and like it just felt like they actually kind of planned this one out, and then. Smash Bros for the Wii U was way better than Brawl. Like everything just kind of felt more polished for Wii U comparatively to what the
you know what? I'll jump on the Wii with you because I think I only had a Wii for like Wii Sports and party games. I think
it was
right.
It was very good for like here's the gimmick and then it's stupid and then all of a sudden
that would be my least. If I were to jump on there as the Wii, I could never get into it. It was the same, and it was for the same reason. It was just I do like those one person single player games that are grand and huge and whatnot. And the Wii was great for like we've already mentioned, like party games and stuff like that. A lot of great like things that you can do with friends, and it wasn't anything. I just didn't have any friends. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I just didn't have enough people to.
I mainly used my Wii to play
GameCube games
and plug the GameCube controllers in the top.
And that was the thing where it was like all the games that like they're like this was the kind of like cinched it for me when the GameCube came out or when the Wii U came out. Zelda Legend Twilight Princess came out, and there was absolutely no difference between the two games graphically. Like the Wii didn't have better graphical support, except all the games were just mirrored from the GameCube. And so you can get the exact gameplay, if anything, an optimized gaming experience from playing this new Legend of Zelda game on the GameCube versus playing on the Wii, where you'd have these dumb motion controls that weren't one-to-one. So, but Josh, what's your favorite?
Yeah. I'm glad I had time to think about this because my gut was like, PS1, but then I was like, no, it's PS2. PS2 for me, because I had the backwards compatibility, so I could play PS1. I didn't have PS1 for very long before the PS2 came out, and so when I remember that generation of consoles for myself, it's like I had Final Fantasy VII that I was playing with my friend. I had MLB 2001. I was playing with my friends. Memory cards were just so amazing. That would be like, my friend had the console. All I had to do was just bring my memory card, and there you go. And it's like we're continuing our season of MLB 2001, our perfect season. And then like I had things with my cousin David, Champions of Norath. We played on PS2. Yeah, I started playing games with my my cousin again, playing Back 4 Blood, and we both were like, "Wow, we haven't gamed together since PS2, since Champions of Norath." And it's like, "Wow!" And you also had Guitar Hero coming out on PS2. So I mean, a lot of really great things on PS2 that I remember feeling really sad when I had to get rid of it. When I
best selling console of all time.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the PS2. Tom, you have the rest of the questions.
I do. So I am first of all, can I just say something? Before we started the show, I asked everyone in the chat to give me 20 questions, and you guys failed because you only gave me about 5 a pop, which was actually the real
I
thing.
said 3, so
No.
they're overshooting what they needed to do technically.
But in reality, no, I got a lot of questions.
yours.
And I'm very actually pleased and happy. Thank you so much to our chat.
You get to
that's
save
with us
them
tonight. Yeah. So the first question I'm wanting to read off is going to be from Abby0007.
Shout out.
Ooh, how about for a question? What's your favorite part of the last week been? I like these very like human questions. Not gonna lie. Like I know I love being divisive around fandom stuff and pop culture, but these are like, oh, this is nice. Someone just cares. Josh, Corey?
For me, I was supposed to go home and help my dad decorate, but I got some work, and as a expecting parent, I need all the money I can get. So I had to cancel my trip home, and this is 2 years in a row. It's something I've done every year, and this is 2 years in a row I've missed it now, and it really hurt to have to make that call. But this week, on Wednesday, in the mail, I got a Amazon package that was filled with everything I needed to decorate my own front yard with a spider web and
that's
a
cool.
fake spider and a video from my dad on how to make the web in the front yard.
What is this, a family sitcom?
Yeah. So I think that was my favorite part of this week.
Josh?
I think it was our stream last night.
Oh.
I had a semi not okay week, and so that was a good way to end the Monday through Sunday week. It was nice and we recorded all day yesterday, and it's just like I like hanging out with you guys, and that's why I was pushing so much to be able to stream in the night because I love you guys, and I like being able to
shut up.
I like being able to play video games with you guys, and had a great time with Tasty D Money. Shout out, and it was just so much fun. You know, I'm having a lot of fun with Back for Blood, and so, yeah.
I can see why he's your best friend, Corey, because he's a lot funnier than all of us.
He's pretty funny.
But I love how just flagrantly he just throws around corn.
He calls me. He once found out like that's where that came from. Is in high school, a teacher accidentally called me Corny Powers. And I told him that story once, and that stuck. Since I was 15, he's called me Corn. Corn Powders.
My favorite part of last week. So last week I had a lot of things riding on this strike that was supposed to happen with the IATSE. And I guess that could have been part of my news, but the strike was quote unquote averted. That's literally the official term. Strike is averted because they made a deal on Saturday. So all of last week I was like, oh, please just strike. Please strike. Not because I don't want people not to work, but because I work at a place where if all the union people struck, then I wouldn't have to work. And I would take a hit in my wallet. But I've been so tired. I have been so tired working a 9 to 6 for the last like 16 months, which I know is a privilege in a first world country that I have a job during a pandemic and I should be happy for. But my God, am I like just overrun with work? And everyone's like, Tom, take a break. It's like, you don't understand my life. You don't live with me. You don't understand. Like my life is a break. Anyways, so that didn't happen. But I was at a wedding. It was really nice. It was my supervisor's wedding, but then that did kick me in the nuts a little bit of during the wedding, like, oh, strike's not happening. I was like, oh, and my
duodenum.
Yeah, but I did get a lot of fun laughs and dancing and drinking and pictures.
Dancing at weddings is one of the truest joys that life offers me, and I'll take any chance.
I got a lot of compliments because I decided to go with the bow tie, and everyone called me James Bond, and I had shiny shoes. So, that was really nice because I don't get a chance to kind of really fully let loose, nowadays. Next question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This one will be a short one, I think. This one is from Cal Tabiner. In the chat, you guys ever seen Red Dwarf?
What's that?
I have not. It is a science fiction sitcom that premiered in the 80s in 1988. That a chicken soup machine repairman is the sole survivor of a radiation leak on his mining spaceship. and the last known human alive.
Oh man, it's got 12 seasons.
Yeah. And no, I have not had the pleasure.
We should check it out.
But knowing that it's on Amazon Prime, I'm excited to potentially look into that. I really like the biggest pill I have to swallow next is probably Star Trek. So I'm going after that.
Oh,
and
Billy's gonna be so happy to hear that.
And so now, yeah, I'm looking that down the barrel, just like, oh, I gotta get into it. So yeah. You guys haven't seen
start with the original show?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I would love to check it out though. I like the aesthetic of it.
The thing is like I was just looking it up and it looks, those things that you're like, it looks really familiar. Like I'm like, I swear I've seen some, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to check it out again.
I will definitely check it out.
Maybe again. I don't know. Again, question mark?
Yeah, right. One of the characters looks like the old Duracell battery.
Oh yeah,
commercials.
Oh. So, next question.
Yes,
Thomas
sir.
Lario. Did you guys see Star Wars Visions? I have not.
No,
sir.
I keep saying like I'm going to, and I haven't.
I have not seen it yet.
So behind.
Yes.
Yeah, I really want to very badly. I made a tweet about this the other night, and there's just so much to watch, and I'm like a little overwhelmed by it. I have MCU fatigue. It's happened. It hit. I watched Loki, and I haven't watched a thing since.
We have had 4 shows, and we're getting 4 movies this year. We're having 8 big Marvel things that are all connected, and
they all got
Star Wars
delayed.
Visions, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian season 3. Like Disney.
Come on, man.
I feel like and like this is again, talk about first world problems, Tom. I feel like I'm being waterboarded with AAA titles and I can't take it anymore because I can't keep up. I don't have the time I have to do other things. I have to do other things to survive.
I mean, this is when I said this, and I think it pissed off some of our listeners, or should I say formal listeners, when I said, hey, Disney, can you leave me the fuck alone for a second? Could you not remind me you exist?
Did you deter a listener?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying, because I know that doesn't bode well with a lot of people. Like, because I'm just like, Marvel just couldn't go a week without letting me know that they existed. I'm like, I don't fucking need to know you exist.
It's not even that much. Like I want people to have the content they love, and I want people to have it. I just can't keep up. I haven't watched the rest of Black Widow. I didn't get to finish it because I wasn't on that episode. I didn't get to watch Shang-Chi. I haven't watched What If. Like I'm so behind. I don't know what's going on.
I've watched
Marvel
everything
universe.
but What If. So, and I just mean to say it in the way where it's just like, look, there are smart algorithms and there's smart bots that know your trends. Like, it should know that I don't constantly look up Marvel stuff, yet the first ad that I'm going to get is Disney Plus on every single thing. So I'm like, no, they're using top dollar to make sure it hits
you have your
everyone.
account. Yeah.
No, just making sure it's hitting top dollar on everything. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I know as someone who's done these like ad campaigns, I know exactly like, no, they're just hitting the biggest buckets. So they're not aiming it directly for someone who's actually buying Marvel merchandise. So, Josh, have you watched Visions?
No, sir. No.
And like, here's the thing. I am going to watch Book of Boba Fett. I'm just learning that I'm going to have to start being, unfortunately, I'm going to have to start being choosier with my material I watch because I can't intake it all. And that might exclude me from some things, and that's fine.
Josh, when you said, it sounded like Simon Pegg from Shaun of the Dead. Lots.
No, I just it's the same thing. I saw Corey's tweet the other day, and it honestly actually got me thinking, and I was like, wow. I mean, and now thinking about the further conversation, like there's just so much to watch. Like at one point, Bonnie and I were like, oh, we got this to watch. We've got this. We've got this. We've got like shows that we actually legitimately watched. And now all of them have new seasons and we're just like, I can't. I can't. I can't go from this to this to this, all of it.
In the words of Kevin Smith, it says it's like when you're having sex with a woman and you have no more dick and you're like, I have no more. I can't give you any more of me.
Jesus.
So, yeah, it's like,
What?
hey, I'm using the words of a famous podcaster, man. Next question.
44 minutes. That might have distorted.
Okay, next question. Black Diablo Mamba. Question 2. I'm going for question number 2. Which 90s artist would you like to come out with a surprise album for 2021? I have an answer.
Okay.
I don't know if they're exactly a 90s artist. They might be a very early 2000. I want BB Mac to come back.
Yes!
BB Mac. I miss.
Wow.
I don't know what they are. British or New Zealand band. I want them to come out with an album.
One of the first songs I learned on the guitar was a BB Mac song.
Was it Back Here?
Yeah, it was.
Dun 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 dun. Oh, it's so good. It's such a good song. Like I don't care. I'm like I think about the song and it's like how people are like, oh, Adele makes me miss someone I don't even know. It's like that song makes me miss someone I don't even know. Back Here, baby. All day. Corey, Josh.
Josh, go for it.
I'm thinking. Nickel. No, just kidding.
No.
Nickelback is the 2000s.
Is it?
I think so. They got big in the 2000s.
Yeah.
I mean, like
the wise man.
Oh, I mean the boy bands and girl artists were like late 1999 and early 2000s. So I'm like thinking about that area of my life. Like, one thing that I went, oh, Britney, but I was like, no, I don't want Britney to work. Girl,
Yeah.
no working.
She can take a break.
I honestly,
Unless she wants to.
unless she wants to,
But it's her choice.
I would take somebody in the chat said Backstreet Boys. I would totally take a Backstreet Boys return. But I'm also thinking of like 90s like rock.
Oh,
and
I'm sorry.
grunge and stuff. Alice in Chains. That would be dope. I got to think about
Tom, you have
this.
another one? What?
The 18s?
The 18s?
Oh my
The
gosh.
18s. I think they're a Dutch or Swedish band, but apparently they were only big because they were a cover band for ABBA. And that was it. But then they became their own thing. I'm like, but I liked their sound. I liked their sound a lot. Corey, what's
Spice
yours?
Girls.
I was thinking of Spice
Spice
Girls.
Girls would be a good one. Mine?
Yes.
I want Tupac to drop another album. He's alive. He's out there. No.
Thank you,
I mean, I
Kanye.
would be
Very
mad
cool.
about it. But my honest answer is No Doubt.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like old, like original 90s, No Doubt. I still listen to this day.
Like they brought the band back to. That'd be cool.
Like Tragic Kingdom is a fantastic album from front to back.
I mean, yeah.
But
Yeah.
old school Gwen Stefani. I miss old school Gwen Stefani, like hardcore.
Before
I
she was
even made a
bananas?
playlist. I made a playlist so that we could put it on, headphones on Dana's belly, and definitely put in No Doubt. My all-time favorite No Doubt song is Bathwater. But I don't know. I've never been a big ska person, or maybe I was and didn't know it. Didn't know I was, because I loved. Obviously, I was a white kid in Northern California. I loved Sublime growing up, but No Doubt was my gateway.
Your jam.
And that was like what I always came home to. Like, yes, my friends all listened to Sublime and Red Hot Chili Peppers and all that kind of stuff, which are all in that same kind of genre. But No Doubt was like coming home. So No Doubt, I wish No Doubt would come out with like a new banger of an album.
I keep thinking about it because I'm like, Tool, but Tool has released albums since then. Not saying that they can't. Like if they released a banger now, I'd be like, oh hell yeah. But I'm thinking of bands like Our Lady Peace or Alice in Chains.
No Doubt did a 2005 album, 2006, I think.
Yeah,
something like
but when
that.
it's been a
I'm
significant
talking
amount
like,
of time,
they were
like,
90s.
Yeah.
Cool.
Offspring did come back.
Let's do one more
Love
question.
Offspring.
One
Tom Sawyer,
more
I love
question.
Offspring. I'm interrupting the whole chat for this.
Yes.
Offspring.
Let's see. Let's save. You know what? Since Heroic Adamus just became just subbed in this chat in this show, let's give him the question. Favorite horror movie you've watched this season?
Ooh.
Thank God I
we've watched
Thank
this
God I
year.
don't have to hear Corey say the thing.
Just kidding. Are you sure about that?
Because you haven't watched it.
watched
You
it
haven't
this
watched
year?
it. No,
How do you
because
know
your
about
wife
that?
asked about it, so you haven't
I
yet.
watched it.
Bitch.
My favorite one I've watched this season. Let me think about that because we've watched a few. We've had a few movie nights here, and I want to figure out what my real favorite is because I'm thinking of one, but I know that it's not my favorite one that I've watched this season. It's just the one that's coming to my mind. So give me a sec.
Josh, you got one?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, please.
No, for real. The original Scream.
Okay.
I in the past week I've watched Scream, Arachnophobia, Lake Placid. Just going back to some of those old ones, and Scream. I'm like, when I got done with it, I was like, wow, it's a good movie. Like it's a good horror film. Like it's just like
movie. Say it.
I was thinking about it's a great horror film. I remember walking away going, it's to me there was logic in it. It was just like the kills made sense. The twist at the end was great. Everybody's amazing in it. I still have a crush on Neve Campbell. Like I've been watching the subsequent Scream movies because I'm like, Scream 5. No, I'm sorry. Scream 2022 is coming out and I'm really excited about it actually. And like, I'm like, I'm going to watch all of these to lead up. And I'm like, but no, Scream original.
Yeah. The OG one is so good.
I forgot
Plus
that's
the
where
Fonzie
the red right hand like got made bigger.
Pete Yorn?
Before Peaky Blinders.
Yeah.
Corey, you got one?
Werewolves Within.
Oh,
That's the one.
yeah.
I was like, I know there's one. Did you watch it, Josh?
Yeah, I saw it in the theaters when I was in New Orleans. So
dude.
good.
So fun. Okay, Sam Richardson needs to be a superhero in some. He's a leading man, and he said he wants to play Beast. I'm here for it. I'm here for that casting.
I'm sorry. What?
He wants to play Beast, and if X-Men come into the MCU,
that's
and I'm
amazing.
here for it. But
his name is Hank McCoy.
Werewolves Within was a fantastic movie. It's directed by Josh Rubin from, I think I talked about this on another update, from College Humor. And it's phenomenal. Start to finish. The way I described it, my elevator pitch was The Thing meets Clue, but with more heart. There's my pitch. Check it out.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. What about you, Tom?
Oh! I mean, okay, I'll be honest. I had no
Tom,
answers.
what's her name from the AT&T commercials?
Milena Vinitrub.
He always knows it. I just wanted to see.
Because she's a cutie.
She's great.
And she wants to be Squirrel Girl.
She's in it. She's fantastic.
I'll say I had no answer. I had no answer because I haven't watched any horror movies this actual fall season. So I was like, okay, what movies have I watched this year? I'm like, okay, when did I go to the theaters? What have I been watching? What did I think was horrific? Was Venom 2, because that movie kind of doesn't need to exist. But I was like, is there a movie that I actually watched this year that wasn't one of our assignments that is a horror movie? And yes, I do have one. And it's Army of the Dead.
You didn't see it until this year?
I watched it in theaters, and so like, I was like, yeah, that's the only horror movie I could think about that wasn't an assignment that we did an episode on. That was a horror movie, and it was like in the season of movies. But yeah, I liked it because I thought it was really cool. It was just this was like kind of like expansion or an expansion of what we think zombies are, and I thought it was just like actually a very very tight script, and characters all get to play, and I love reminding Corey about that movie because he's just like, man, why didn't we cover it? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Shit, baby.
Why haven't we covered it?
I don't know, man.
I also do want to give a shout out to the movie that affected me the most, which was One Cut of the Dead. That's out of all the movies I've watched this season, One Cut of the Dead was the one that I've not stopped thinking about since I watched it, and that was a month and a half ago.
You have to thank Heroic Adamus in the chat because he's the one that got me to watch it. So
Heroic, well done, because that was
That's exactly what he said to me. He's like, Tom, you got it.
Yo, I've not. It's been a month and a half, and I think about it.
We
like
did
at
an
least
episode
once
on
a
it.
day.
Everybody check
we
it out,
did, baby.
But watch the movie before you listen to the episode.
Please,
Yeah, do not listen to our episode.
It's the only piece of media that we've covered that has been out for some time that we put the spoiler thing on because it's that important. So check it out. That's it. that is this week's update. Everybody at home, thank you so much for watching. If you're on YouTube or Twitch Live, if you are listening, thank you so much. If you are listening on your favorite podcast app, stop by, rate, and review. Share us with your friends
and check us out on
family.
YouTube.
That is the way that we grow. Check us out on YouTube, nerdon.tv/YouTube. We've got all sorts of videos that we're posting these days, including all of our shows are video formats, and we've got some new content that we're putting out there. We're streaming pretty often, so check us out on Twitch, nerdon.tv/Twitch. Like I've said throughout this, check out that Nerd On Nation. You do help us to grow and to upgrade our content and just keep being better us. Tom is putting all of the Manscaped products on his body at the same time.
Yeah, he is.
Shout out to Manscaped. You can get 20% off and free shipping if you go to manscaped.com and use the promo code NERDON. Check it out. But yeah, that's it. That's all the housekeeping. Take care of yourselves. You know the drill. As always,
Nerd on.